Where do I start?
I need someone to show me my place in all this.
Well, I guess I'll start with saying if you already know the truth, if you already know that the earth is flat, this video is probably not for you, but if you want to stick around, you're more than welcome. This is a little bit of clickbait because of the success or the popularity of Star Wars. I wanted to give anyone who has watched that movie or is going to watch it and doesn't understand that the earth is actually flat and not a planet, I wanted to give you guys the opportunity to hear some stuff. Now, I have plenty of videos that hopefully you guys will go down there and check it out. But let's take a look at the universe that movie is placed upon. Have you ever heard of MK Ultra? Well, that's exactly what's going on. The movie is fantastic as an entertainment value, but if you're not awake to the truth, then what is really happening to you? There's emotions that go with that movie. That's why it's such a cult classic. That's why it's such a cult following. I mean, tonight, I just finished watching it literally 20 minutes ago. I figured, let me make this video because I think there's a lot of people who get mesmerized by this. The quality of the CGI, the imagination that they have when creating each planet, star system, whatever you want to call it. That's all it is. It's programming. It's just a way for you to be sucked into a fantasy that is nowhere near reality. I know we all grew up thinking that this is a possibility, that we're going to one day travel into space. Now think about how many space movies there are and have been just in the last few years. You know, movies like Martian or Mars with Matt Damon. These are movies that pretend to be realistic. Even Interstellar, Gravity, Star Wars. I mean, you name it. You can go. The list keeps going and going and going and going. That is all there to keep us believing that we are insignificant. Believe it or not, that we do not. That we're not the only special people or human-like beings in this big, massive Carl Sagan billions of galaxies.
The Milky Way galaxy is composed of some 400, I'm converting from American numbers to British numbers, 400,000 million separate suns, each of which more or less like our own. We now think that that planets are a commonplace, that most of those stars probably have planetary systems. We know the origin of life is likely under general cosmic circumstances, and there were thousands of millions of years for evolution to happen. Under those circumstances, it seems extraordinarily arrogant of us to think we are the only inhabitants of this cosmos.
How are we going to find them, though? I mean,
okay, there's two questions.
How are they going to find us?
Right.
It's really just all a lie. And we've been fed this lie because we've been told that space is real. I know that's hard to believe if I tell you space isn't real. Well, what is that we see at the night sky? That's just it. I think what we're actually looking at is a different dimension. Space, as we've been taught, is not real. Planets are not real. The Bible clearly states that they're called wandering stars. But guys like Neil deGrasse Tyson will tell you that, well, you can't trust that book. What do you guys really know? It says in the book of Revelations that the stars will come down, and he'll go into a whole spiel. It's trying to steal your true nature, who you really are. That's all it is. It's a magician's trick. Well, I think it's time to grow up. I think we all have to grow up. Now, when you come to the truth and you understand the truth, it's just entertainment. I can go sit in that movie, enjoy it, have the popcorn and soda and all that stuff, and take my son out there and we can watch a movie, but not actually be sucked into its fantasy anymore. It doesn't work for me no more. It doesn't. So, you're going to say, what's the proof that the earth is flat? Well, we know that water finds its level. Always. That is the nature of water. 71% of the earth is covered in water. So if we know that water always finds its level, big bodies of water, oceans, lakes, rivers, you name it. You see pictures. It's almost like a glass mirror. Now, what they want to tell you is that water bends and curves and it's formed into a perfect ball. And by the way, don't be so foolish to think that if the world is flat, that means you should be able to see infinitely far. That is one of the dumbest things that we've been almost taught to believe. Yet, if you look at your app, it'll tell you sometimes, oh, it's a 10% visibility, 10 to 12 mile range of visibility. Why? Because there's smog, fog, dust, particles in the air. No one can see infinite. But what we do know is that when we measure distances and we do see objects that are supposed to be way out of its field of view, we can still see them. By no means are we seeing infinite, but we do have the ability to see long distances. Sometimes you can see buildings that are 40, 50 miles away that should not be possible with the Earth curvature formula that they have came up with. And who are they? Well, that's another rabbit hole you're going to have to go and dig. There's plenty of information, but you have to be humble enough to look for that. I know this is a tough pill to swallow, but don't get emotional with this. That's our reaction. That's part of what I said, what the MK Ultra is about. It's about getting emotional reaction. If you ever notice, are you one of those people who just got emotionally angry, wants to write down a mean comment on how I'm stupid and retarded? Come on. Use your words better than that. Talk like a grown-up. Think about these things. Star Wars The Last Jedi. Fantastic movie. Really enjoyed it. There's some mixed feelings with it. But that's all it is. Just a movie, guys. Don't be sucked into a fantasy that is never going to become reality. We've been sold it as a possibility. It's not. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with watching those kind of movies as long as you understand the truth. But guess what? This is only a small truth. I used to consider this a huge truth. To me, it was huge. This, oh my God, they're lying about where we live. How could they be doing it? How could everybody be in on it? Believe it or not, not everyone's in on it. Everyone has been just told what to believe, and they've gone along with it. You've been lied to. I've been lied to. I used to believe in a globe. Why not? I didn't know any better. I didn't look into these things. Humble yourself. Look into these things. As far as anything else, you got to keep searching. There's more to these lies that we've been told. That's all I got.